Just waiting on the eye. There they are. Beautiful eyeballs. Morning after. Good morning. The Riley and JK duo returns on a Tuesday on the day of a rivalry game. Last time we were together, it was after UNC Duke. This time it's before UNC NC State. What a time. Dion in the chat. We miss him on the program, but he is currently en route to Mackey Arena. Well, I guess he's on a layover technically, so not currently, but Rick already in the chat. Good morning, Rick. We've got a loaded day. We're going to talk some weekend recap. We're going to talk some crazy Iowa State Houston last night. And then we'll talk some what everyone in the chat's going to be waiting for, which is some Purdue, Michigan. And, of course, we're going to sprinkle in some UNC, NC State because we're homers. Riley, how are you doing this morning?
Doing well. I'll probably share this a little bit more on the full episode I'm recording with Carter later today. But, last Friday, if you listened to Riley Friday, you heard me complain about some stomach pain. Very much was not just your average stomach pain, was a kidney stone. So I'm calling that the kidney stone pie. That's my equivalent to a flu game. Sorry, I just saw Pickle Rick's comment about sticking with trying to poach Tommy Lloyd and staying away from Painter. But yeah, we got through the kidney stone over the weekend. Still have not passed it. The pain has subsided though. But let's see. Who would I wish a kidney stone on? I was tempted to say I would not wish it on my worst enemy. However, if Will Wade had a kidney stone, I would be like, sorry, William, this is your lot in life.
Yeah, it's actually I'm the perfect guy to be on a pod with in terms of kidney stones because I've had 8 of them.
You had 8?
So I haven't had one in a while, but my dad has had like 60 of them things. And so I got them hereditarily through him. So that is like literally the worst.
Dion is a 3-time survivor.
Yeah, that's like the worst pain you can have. Like I try to tell people, like I've had some that have made me get sick. Like those things are lethal. Like people will think, I can't be that bad. And then you get one and you're like,
I wanted to die.
Yeah. Iowa Boiler, I have personally not had to have them blasted, but one time I'll never forget on New Year's Eve, I was like 12 years old and my dad had like a 29 millimeter one and they had to blast it. And it ended up being like 7 different stones. I mean, those things are lethal, man. It's like you said, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but there are some people where I'd be like,
yeah, getting that. So my dad has had one in the past. So I'm wondering if mine was hereditary or not. But I would guess if it hasn't been like a chronic thing, hopefully it's not hereditary. I'm not the most hydrated. I think that's a tragic flaw of mine. I'm learning I don't drink enough water. So
yeah, it's not good. That's
trying to make some positive changes after. Yeah.
So many women say it's worse than birth. Yes, I agree because at least with birth, like you get a child out of it. Like you get something to cherish and love.
Mm-hmm.
Like
after this, I get a trip to the urologist.
Yeah, you get a rock. Are they making you collect it so they can analyze what type? Yep. Yeah. The classic move. Yeah. All right. Well, you had a kidney stone on the weekend. At least you had some hoops to watch while you were in pain, though. So what's your like underlying biggest weekend takeaways?
Okay, I got a couple. The main headliner obviously is like Arizona losing 2 in a row, Texas Tech. I think the job that Grant McCasland has done this year coaching this team that has dealt with injuries all year, and even someone like Luke Bomboye, I think I've mentioned him on some videos before, has just like not panned out. I think he's against lesser opponents, he looks pretty good as a rim protector. He only played 7 minutes against. He played 13 minutes against Arizona. So, but just not as impactful as I would have expected. Like it's basically a 6-man team, and yet they can beat anyone in the country because their top 2 are really that good. And maybe with McCasland, you would hope he'd scout a little bit better next time in building the roster, but still finding a gym like Donovan Atwell and then maximizing what he has. I think he's such a good in-game coach. But beyond that.
Hey, sofa bed, bro. It's guest room / office. Also, probably helps reduce the echoing of the mic a little bit now that the room's not empty.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. But But yeah, beyond like the headliner, I'll give you an under the radar storyline that's like pertinent to our territory in the ACC. Louisville might be turning into a wagon, and Pat Kelsey might be exercising some demons. That was one of my big takeaways. I get Baylor's awful, but like that second half of that game was just Louisville completely enforcing its will and dictating tempo and making Baylor play the way they wanted to play. And there was nothing the Bears could do to stop it. Michael Brown Jr. averaging 37 points over his last 2 games. He's 14 of his last 21 from 3. Like that dude, I made this joke when I did the recap with J-Man that like in draft Twitter spaces, there's some like cutesy faces like, oh, Michael Brown Jr. down at pick 25. I'm taking Bennett Sturts over him. And at this point, I'm like, dude, stop the cap. Stop trying to act like these. Stop putting like Tyler Tanner ahead of Michael Brown Jr. on mock drafts. Like that dude is a top 10 pick. And I'm very excited to see just what Louisville can do to like go down the stretch. I believe I'm going to the Carolina Louisville game next Monday, which I'm excited about. So
one.
yeah.
I almost think that like the Louisville thing, Arizona, Texas Tech, I agree with you. I mean, that roster that McCaslin is working with stinks, and he somehow like if they play remotely better in the early parts of the year, we're talking about this Texas Tech team way differently.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville, I think honestly, like a lot of Louisville's issues to me just came down to Michael being hurt. And ever since he's been back to healthy, like their guards just terrify me, dude. Like I'm so scared of what they might do to the Trimble, Bogavats, Dixon. Conwell and Michael and McNeely's kind of like a known UNC sniper. So like that makes it even scarier. My biggest takeaway is probably one, like not just saying this to appease the chatters, but that was definitely like the statement. We've got some stuff figured out from Purdue. Like they absolutely belted Iowa on the road. Like they were just smoking them the whole entire game. It kind of was like the perfect build up into tonight's game. Second one is that, man, I'm going to miss my boy Richie Saunders. That was just awful. And I just, oh, man. BYU was already struggling enough. They didn't need the Richie Saunders injury to make it worse. And that just sucks. And I hope it doesn't ruin the AJ experience for people. And then finally, the last one is that either Iowa State's really good or I just don't understand Kansas at all. And it's probably a little bit of both, but man, Iowa State looks like a wagon after pulling that game out last night and smoking Kansas, like literally one of the hottest teams in the country. I mean, they've been special.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm just
like Harry Potter.
I was just wanting to go back to that Purdue Iowa game.
I would love to hear what you have to say about that.
Defense and rebounding. I'm sorry I don't have the I wish these were tortoise frame to really complete the look, but yeah, it was as soon as you mentioned that Purdue Iowa game, my mind couldn't go anywhere else other than that one. But yeah, good one for Purdue. Obviously, much needed confidence booster going into the big one tonight. But yeah, a lot of storylines from this past weekend with you mentioning BYU. I think BYU just might be dead. Like you might be getting AJ 30 burgers on the regular, but aside from that, I don't really know what else they're gonna do. Without Richie, I'm like best case scenario, maybe they're like a 7 seed who can hang around against a 2 seed for a half. I feel like that the ceiling is completely destroyed for that team, and it's 3-person team to begin with, and now you're down one of your best players. I think it's over. But yeah, Iowa State, I'm happy to talk about really that game last night against Houston because that was one of the more entertaining contests I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, so that's just the Big 12 is just so insane to have the spot to play Kansas. Now, granted, I know both of them were at Iowa State and they don't really lose there. So You can factor that in if you choose, but man, their guards are just absurdly annoying and feisty on defense. Momcilovic or Momcilovic, if you will, is an absolute animal. Jefferson can give you like they're just good, man. Like they're just so solid. I, the Big 12 is a gauntlet, man. Like the fact that they just have to play Houston on Monday after playing Kansas on Saturday, like that's
That's
just a
tough.
ridiculous 2-game stretch.
I'm with you completely, but yeah, it's like I have some. So I think Iowa State can win a national title. I think they have that level of coaching. I think they have that level of talent and defense. I think they are a little susceptible to you almost saw it burn them last night against teams with a lot of size and physicality. That's where I think they are more susceptible than you would expect from a team that's as tough as they are, just because of Jefferson's limitations. Like Jefferson's probably going to be a first team All-American, but he's only 6'7" or 6'8", and I think you saw it come to the surface last night down the stretch with JoJo Tugler like blocking one of his shots at the rim when I think they were down 69-67 in the game.
Oh,
And
another one.
but like because they basically their format for winning is Jefferson's the point guard, and like letting him be a mismatch nightmare for everybody and hoping that whether it's Momcilovic is going to hit a bunch of threes, Jamarian Bateman, made some massive ones down the stretch. But like as long as they can avoid a team that can like swarm them with length and take Jefferson out of rhythm, like Michigan. Obviously, Michigan's a tough matchup for everybody. Arizona, it's like, okay, yeah, the two best teams in the sport, sure. Duke could be a little tough for an Iowa State team with like Boozer and Gongba, but I also think neither of those guys are that vertically explosive to where I could see Jefferson getting into foul trouble. But just as you look across the sport, like nationally, with the top teams, yeah, that's where I left that game like super impressed with Iowa State, but also still thinking Houston has the goods to win it all too. Like those are two legit top 5 teams.
Yeah, I can't lie. As good as Iowa State was, I'm not trying to like discredit or anything like that, but I left that game with like the only way Iowa State beats Houston again is if they somehow majestically teleport and play in Ames. Like, there's just no way. Dude, Kingston Fleming's doing what he did to that backcourt as a freshman. I know that, like Rick said earlier in the chat, disappeared in the last 4 minutes. Okay, like, yes, he did a little bit, but like that backcourt, respectfully to our Purdue fans in the chat, look what they did to Purdue and Mackey. And then Kingston goes for like 22 on 9 of 15 shooting. Like, was just, as a freshman, he's ridiculous. Now I'm not going to go as far as people on like draft Twitter were going with this, like, you can't tell me Kingston can't be the number 1 pick, because I can tell you that, and I will tell you that. As good as he is, he can't be the number 1 pick. But like, dude, that kid, he's so special. He's like, has Kingston solidified himself as at the worst like a top 5 guy?
Yeah, I think the top 5 in some order will be Caleb Wilson with 4 different expressions, and then Kingston Flemings. But yeah, it's going to be in some order, like Wilson, DeBonsa, Peterson, Boozer, Flemings. Maybe Wagler sneaks in there and displaces Flemings, but yeah, I think that's your top 5.
It's nuts, man. Like it really is. Like this class is so insane, man. I love every bit of it. Also, I just was looking at this out of the side because we were talking about the BYU injuries a little bit. I feel so bad that they lose Richie and their consolation is at Arizona and then Iowa State at home. Like, oh dear God. Unfortunately, this will probably be the last time we see the Cougs in the top 25, I would imagine.
Sorry, oh yeah. Wait, they're still ranked?
Yeah, they're 23rd, which is the DeMonta effect, I would imagine.
All right, I don't know why Dion is. You had a flight to get on, Dion. Get off your phone. I know Dion doesn't have in-flight Wi-Fi.
Caleb Wilson's that was Caleb Wilson still hoops. Yeah, I mean, hey, you heard Hubert hashtag be back soon. Also, I just love Twitter because the fact that some fans hopped on Twitter and were like, Caleb Wilson coming back for year 2.
Wait, who said that?
Like, you saw like some of the, when he dropped the quote, and then Hubert dropped the whole like he'll be back thing, and Caleb did the whole I'm not done at Carolina, and this was before the timetable was released, and people were like, is he coming back? And I'm like, brother, if Caleb Wilson comes back, like it's gonna be, the sky's gonna be purple, and I like there's just no way that would ever happen.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. I had to purchase headphones, and in-flight Wi-Fi will be loading.
Sorry, I was told I'm looking through the Purdue fan channel on the Discord. I can't multitask if Dion. It seems like he bought he he bought some sort of Southwest priority boarding specifically for Business Select, A-list, or A-list preferred members. Includes access to the flyby priority lane at security checkpoints, allowing you to skip to the front of the regular security line at participating airports. I can't tell if this is a good thing or a bad. Like, Dion does not seem pleased by his purchase.
So, am I hearing this right? He basically bought like TSA pre-check, but just for Southwest. I'm so confused. Oh man, I can tell you right now, Dion, what color sweatsuit are you wearing at the airport currently? Because I know you got one on. I know you have a Nike sweatsuit on right now. I need to know which color. Did you go with the pink that you pulled out at the Final Four? Just more of like a subtle gray or black vibe. Also, almost missing the flight is a hilarious segue, or I guess parallel to the morning after, because every single day Dion joins the morning after stream like either a minute at like 10:01, or he joins like right at 10. He loves to play things on. He likes to play on the edge, man.
It's true. Well, should we talk about this Michigan Purdue game tonight? I feel like we got a bunch of questions.
Yeah, I feel like the questions are coming in. So we'll just go back to the top. Seth Dawkins, Michigan or Purdue tonight? Who wins? Do you want to answer this first, or do you want me to?
I think Michigan's gonna win. I get Purdue has figured some things out. They've won 4 games in a row. The win at Nebraska was really impressive. I just think this Michigan team is designed to like exploit all of their flaws in terms of, not to go back to Braden in the Goodman interview, but defense and rebounding. Like, that's where Michigan should crush them. And I just don't know if they have the guns to like keep up with the size differential, unless, I mean, maybe you get like a Braden superhuman game. My guy Jackie Buckets comes off the bench and gives you 3 or 4 threes or something, but I just feel like it's not that Purdue, like I very much enjoy watching this Purdue team. I still think they could make it back to the Final Four, but I just think Michigan, like, they are tailor-made in a way to exploit all the things that this Purdue team struggles with.
Yeah, I agree, but something about the nothing to do with on the court, just the off the court stuff that's happening, makes me lean Purdue, just because, like, I just
You mean
whole,
like
the whole Yaxel thing, like, this is all I know. Company man, I know the people that work for Sleepers very well. If any player from any other team did that, Greg would be having a field day about how cringy and corny and lame it was. Michigan has to win, because if they don't, that Yaxel video is top 5 cringe Hall of Fame. That's up there with my dog Jason Christopher Tatum texting Kobe and then laying a stinker in the finals. I'm just telling you that right now. I mean, and that's me taking accountability about my guys. Like, listen, that video, man, it just feels like a bad omen. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. And this either goes one of two ways. This is either like all right, um, Purdue is back. They're a contender, or it goes the like, I can't believe we let them beating a couple teams make us believe that they were back.
I still think Nebraska. I like low key buy Nebraska as a real Final Four threat. Like I feel like people are kind of hopping off that bandwagon a little bit. I'm still very much riding with the Cornhuskers. I think that was an incredible win to get that on the road, just with the style they play again, where they make you uncomfortable. They dictate the way the game is played, and for Purdue to come out victorious in that one, I thought was really impressive. But yeah, so Pickle Rick is asking if Purdue hits 15 plus threes tonight, who wins? I mean, Purdue wins if they hit 16 made threes. Yeah, I'm gonna take Purdue in that spot. I think that's probably the blueprint.
That's their formula. Yeah, like this needs to be. You mentioned first off, you being a Jack Benter guy. I mean, that's just so fitting. I don't know why, but you and Jack Benter just seem like you'd be best buds.
I love Jackie B.
This feels like a game where they need a few from the Cox, Harris, Benter collective, but the real key tonight, this has to be a good Fletcher game. Like you gotta, I think you literally have to get one of those like 6 for 10 Fletcher games or something like that.
Right.
Like that's the only way they're going to be it, because if they're not hitting from the outside, it's going to be a long day for Clough, Jacobson, and TKR against Tamara, Merez, and Yaxel. So I don't know, man. I just, it's gonna, like, I don't know. I think this is either gonna be a Michigan smackdown or Purdue winning like a really close, good game.
Yeah, I will say, if anything, just looking at kind of the statistical profile for Purdue over their last 5 games, they're only allowing 5.6 fast break points per game. That's in the 93rd percentile nationally. This comes from CBB Analytics. They've held teams to 24 points in the paint, also in the 95th percentile over their last 5 games. So if you're looking for at least avenues to show that they've corrected some things where maybe they can take Michigan out of their rhythm, like if they allow Michigan to run, I'm with you that I think this gets out of hand in favor of the Wolverines. I do think that if you're looking at how have done a better job protecting the rim recently and shrinking the court, like, yeah, that can play into their hand, especially if like they're taking a ton of threes over these last 5 games, shooting 36% from beyond the arc during that stretch. So, I mean, I do think there is a world where this is like a double digit type makes, but that's, yeah, I'm kind of with you that it's probably going to take like Fletch giving them 5 or 6, Braden giving them 3 or 4, and then you're hoping that Omer, Jackie B, and Co can make up the rest. And if you can get to that 15 number that Pickle Rick mentioned, I would feel pretty good about them getting it done. But yeah, let me see what they've shot in home games. In home games this season, they've shot 38% from 3. So that's,
and that first Elliot Cadeau horrible contested dribble early shot clock pull up 3 that air balls is going to send Greg into an absolute coma in the stands. Oh man,
who do you think guarding Cadeau for Purdue? Cox is probably drawing that assignment, you think?
See, that's where it gets tough, because I feel like
I mean, I think there's a world where like Cadeau could have a stinker and Michigan still wins, though, because you just play more Trey McKinney minutes, you know? Did I freeze?
No, we're good now.
Okay,
it was doing a little buffer cheese, but yeah, I think Braden on Elliott feels like, I feel like Braden could, like, as crazy as it sounds, because it's not like the best physical matchup, I feel like Braden could just like turn this into a talk like 2 words of shit to Elliott and be like, you'll never be as good as me, and then like just have him in a box. But I mean, I don't know. It's gonna
So JK froze. This is not a me issue. Okay. I thought this was well, all right. Let me let me carry the torch a little bit here. I got a solo. Let's see. I saw Pickle Rick mentioning Braden hitting a 3, hits G and Dion with the night emote. Yeah, that'd be great. Yaxel legacy game. Purdue doesn't have anyone to match up with him. I see where you're coming from, Tominator. I know Tominator's our resident Michigan fan. That is like just I think that's why like the size issues that Michigan that presents, like it's really not that difficult to see how they come out on the with a win in this one on the road. Also, I've never soloed this live show before, so little patience for your boy with here. Maybe a throwback to Riley every day when I was doing my own videos every day. But yeah, Connor Lamb saying Riley can TK eat against Merez without Mara inside. Yeah, he probably can. I think that would be a goal here if you're able to get Mara in some foul trouble and take him out of this, and maybe even exposing some of Mara's defensive limitations. I know that he's a really good shot blocker, but I think there are times where you still want him to play a little bigger, hold his own against a physical specimen like either TK or Clough in particular. If he can do a little bully ball, yeah, then we can live with that. All right, some Riley questions. Let me hear it. Let's give him some things to talk about. Let's talk about Carolina, NC State. I don't know if anyone else is in there as locked into it as me and JK will be, but this is a real prove it spot for my Tar Heels going in shorthanded into Raleigh. This is a matchup where over the past 55 meetings, Carolina is 44-11. So I think if you're looking at history, UNC should have the advantage in this one just based on precedents. Like whether Hubert's the coach or definitely when it was Roy Williams as the coach, like something that has translated as Roy has passed on the reins. And even amid my frustrations over the past 5 years, Hubert usually has his guys set to play against NC State. So I think they're going to have to take advantage of the size advantage they have, presumably with Vasar back tonight. I know he's listed as a game time decision. We'll see if that works out. Would love to see him get some buckets on Vinal and Lubin. I'm trying to monologue, Dion. Dion saying it's a prove it spot. A week ago, Maybach, Willie was dead. Hey, Mr. Curtis, JK and I promised we would talk some UNC and NC State, but can I just get my thoughts off on that game, and then we can go back to get back to Purdue. All right, sorry. I'll get back on track with the Big Ten stuff. Connor Lamb, I think Clough will be fine on the glass. I think the problem is that Mara will erase Clough offensively. I see that logic, but I still think that like there are ways in which these Purdue bigs, whether it's TKR, whether it's Clough, they got to pull Mara away from the basket, take him out of his rhythm. Okay, so yeah, welcome back, JK.
Yeah, see, this is just, I feel like this is just what you call God's timing of taking me out for 3 or 4 minutes to give you an ISO, because I'm literally, this is, let me, once I tell you this, Rick, you're going to be like, wow, that's crazy. I'm Ethernetted on a nice gaming PC that I also do work on AT&T fiber Wi-Fi, and still lost connection. So that just goes to show you it can happen to anyone. I was thinking, I was like, it kept black screening on my end and like circling, but I could see you moving and talking. And I was like, it's got to be mine. And then it literally cut off for like 5 minutes and then went off. Yeah, see, Tom, I'm not going to disagree with you there. If it was up to me, it would be Google Fiber, but the apartment has AT&T, so I'm stuck. But what was your, I'm assuming, see this, I was trying to give you an ISO with all the chat, man. See, look, now we got all this. Now we got all these.
I try to pivot and talk about UNC and NC State because I didn't think I could do Purdue, Michigan on my own anymore, and got called out for it.
Yeah, that's what happens, man.
JK, I got 5 minutes and then I got a dip. Can we talk a little bit UNC and NC State?
Absolutely, man. Just go to the YMCA next time. JK, facts. Heard they got the best Wi-Fi in the game.
They really do. The Wi-Fi at the Y will not let you down. You just might be hunting for a spot for about 10 minutes before you get settled in. JK, we haven't talked about the Heels since we beat Duke. It's only been like a week and a half or so, but you and I haven't even talked the Heels as much as we normally do this year. I would say that's partly my stage of life. Usually you text me during games that I'm watching on a delay because when they tip off at 7:00, that's when I'm like putting my son down for bed. Where are you at on this team, especially in a post Caleb world? Are you like just get me to the ACC tournament and see what happens when Caleb presumably returns? Are you thinking they can do things to make it interesting down the stretch here? Where's your head at?
Basically, I'm just looking for them to still beat the bad teams, like still beat Syracuse. Um, if you win tonight, like it's a cool, I guess. I mean, I think they can beat State. It'd be nice if they did, but like you still beat Syracuse, still beat Virginia Tech at home. I think Clemson's a toss up because I don't really think they're that good. I think they're starting to show their true colors a little bit.
I'm with you.
You probably lose to Duke, and then you probably lose to Louisville. Those are games that you know obviously you have a chance with Caleb, but I just like tonight, for example, this Henry stuff is starting to be like real concerning because like the Pittsburgh thing was cute. Like it was cute and it was great and it was fun to watch, but like that's just not going to fly against a good team.
Yeah, dude, Pittsburgh is legitimately, I think, like a half step above Kenny Payne Louisville teams. They are absolutely atrocious. They are an insult to the sport right now. That roster's so bad. Their shot selection is horrible. They're not well coached. They don't play discipline. They inbound the ball into spots on the court where they're just not supposed to. Like everything that they do is disgusting basketball to watch. That being said, I was still pleased getting a 14-point win down your two best players. Like I will still take that even against an ACC bottom feeder. But yeah, it's about to get a lot more real tonight, and they do have to tell the truth. And I know Dion called me out for saying Maybach Willie is dead. I still think Maybach Willie is dead. I think Maybach Willie stinks. The only problem is like my team is without Caleb Wilson is getting compared to the cousin who plays with cats by someone in the chat. So
yeah, this is like the weirdest Will Wade team ever because they don't play defense
and they make a ton of threes.
And they make it's like the antithesis of a usual Will Wade team. But there is one constant. This man wants Quadir Copeland to be Shea Gilgeous-Alexander so bad. Like the man gets to do everything. Like Quadir Copeland, honestly, elite career arc that I would personally choose. Find a coach who is obsessed with you and lets you literally become the heliocentric part of everything the team does. And then you just get to go wherever he goes and do like. And then also State fans being mad that Hubert compared him to Theo Pinson is a whole other like thing. Why would you not want to be? You know what? I don't know. But my one concern for tonight, I think if Henry plays and he's like healthy, they win because they don't have any bigs that can stop him. My issue if Henry doesn't play is I think it turns into a guard battle, and that's what State wants.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think NC State, they can't keep teams out of the paint. They suck on the glass. Their entire everybody outside of Copeland is awful from 2-point range. Yeah. I looked this up yesterday for the preview. Darion Williams is shooting 33% from 2. From inside the arc, 33% as like this 6'6" bully ball, small ball 4. Like they are so susceptible, but
I can confirmed. I just want this to be known right now because I know how this goes. One of like Terrence Arsenault or Trey Holloman is going to shoot like 4 from 3 tonight. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Last thing I say, Pickle Rick asked in the chat if I think Caleb Wilson comes back because Dion said he's done. Yes, I think he'll be back for the postseason.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I honestly even think there's a chance, like if they're saying 3 to 4 weeks, like there's a chance he plays in that last Duke game. That's very lofty, but there's a chance that it happens. But I think like come tournament time, he's definitely going to be back. Yeah, last thing before I know you have to dip, give your Purdue, Michigan, and UNC NC State score predictions. Hyena Scar 8 seed UNC or lower. I don't know how the committee's gonna factor in the Caleb injury, but if I had to guess based on like what they're gonna do without him, they'll probably be like a 6.
Yeah, my prediction is a 6 or a 7, probably a 7 seed. I think they
Like the fourth one of the day.
I'm not particularly high on their ability to go much better than like 4-3 without him down the stretch, and I think that probably drops them from there. They're on the 5 line now, I think, to the 7 line.
So
maybe
Dion thinks a 3 to 4 week Caleb Wilson injury is actually a 6-week Caleb Wilson injury. So I respect that. Honestly, the way they handled the initial parts of the injury, you could be right because miscommunications all over the place.
Yeah. Right. But score predictions, I think Michigan gets it done 85-77. I think Carolina gets it done 88-80.
Okay. I think Purdue Purdue's gonna find a way to win this game 83-79. And I think that UNC, God, I wish I knew more about Henry, but I'm gonna act like he's playing. So I'm gonna say UNC wins a boat race 88-83. That's my predictions. Everyone in the chat, thank you for being here. It's a big night for you. I would assume most of you are Purdue fans, including Dion, the biggest Purdue fan of them all, until he's with Greg, and all of a sudden he switches up because he's with Greg, and he's like, "Oh my God, Michigan!" So Dion, I hope you make it safe. Everyone, I'll be back tomorrow. Don't know who it'll be with yet. I'm gonna go do some recruiting. And yeah. So Riley, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week, man.
Appreciate you, sir.
Shout out my dog Theo. And yeah, Riley's gone. It's just me. Chat. Love you guys. Hope you all have a wonderful week. We'll be tapped into Peak Hoops tonight. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow.